Hey everybody, welcome to my garden. It is a Sunday morning and I was sitting out here having my morning coffee and practicing some mindfulness by just observing what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing and experiencing in the garden, and I thought this would be a really good time to take a little mindful garden tour. So, I wanted to start, I was looking at these black-eyed Susans, which look really amazing this time of year. They almost look like they're just glowing. But I was watching these and I noticed these beetles everywhere. And I didn't know what they were, so I looked them up and it looks like these are soldier beetles. I guess they come out in the fall, and they're actually considered a beneficial insect. They are really attracted to bright flowers, and they're considered pollinators because they go from flower to flower. But they're actually hunting for larvae of other insects, which I guess other insect larvae around this time of year tends to be from bugs that are not beneficial or considered pests. So they actually eat bad bugs. So I thought that was pretty cool. That they're pollinating and also hunting. But they are just all over these black-eyed Susans. Well, let's go walk around and see what else is going on in the garden. Now that the school year started, so we're back to work full time, I really cherish this time in the garden because I can really only do this on weekends now. So some of the summer blooming perennials are starting to look pretty tired. They're starting to dry up and form seeds. And the fall plants are just starting to bloom. So I'll show you when we get to some of the other beds what I have that blooms in the fall. But you'll also notice that I have a ton of weeds. This time of year, I'm honestly tired of weeding, and I'm working full time, so weeding's just not at the top of my priority list, and I want to spend the time that I do have in the garden before it gets really cold, enjoying my plants. So I weed what I have to, but I try not to worry too much about it. Some of my pots are still looking good. This is that lantana that's an annual. Hopefully I can get the camera to focus. It's still looking pretty good. At first I wasn't super impressed with these, and I wasn't sure if I was going to grow them again, and they really took off and got pretty big and filled up the pot. So now I don't know. I might plant them again. I also have some really pretty dark purple sedum that's just getting ready. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. It doesn't want to focus. There we go. Just putting on seed heads. I think this variety is called Turkish Delight. I'm not 100% certain on that though. I also have this Meyer lemon tree that's really started to put on a lot of new growth. So that's exciting. Once it dips below 50 degrees at night, I am going to have to start bringing it inside though. Because citrus trees do not like the cold weather. But so far so good. This is my first time growing any kind of citrus tree, so I think it looks good anyway. I have just some other annuals I've popped in pots. I have this fun ornamental millet that I grew. I was hoping the plants would be a little bit more full, but I think maybe in the pot it prevented them from getting as full as they typically would. But they're still fun. I'm thinking about taking these petunias out and popping something else in for the fall. I haven't decided yet. I don't know if I'll get around to it. This is the Agastache or Agastache Heather Queen. The nice thing about these plants is even though they are drying out, they still look really pretty. They still have a really nice color. So from a distance, they still look like they're in bloom. And this is just another variety. I think this is called Arizona Sun. So these are drying up too, but again, still looks, the leaves are still green. It still looks interesting. Here's another one of those Turkish Delight sedums. You can see that the flowers are going to be pink. This one's a little bit closer than the other one. I also have some fun little asters that I potted up. These are just an annual variety. And they're just now starting to bloom. So I've got a pink and a white. I don't know what color this one's going to be yet. We have a little bit of a mess right now because we have a an impromptu construction project happening. We have to repair a portion of our deck overhang. So we have a little bit of a mess going on. Another really nice late summer plant, late summer, early fall, is the lobelia. This is the great blue lobelia. And this is actually native in my area. It's a little bit floppy this year, I think, because some of the milkweed got a little out of control and blocked it from the light. So next year I'm going to do a better job of making sure I'm keeping the milkweed in check. It also looks like the goldenrod is getting close. One of my favorite fall blooming plants. So I'll try to show you guys this when it's in full bloom. Lots of milkweed. I think it's almost time to cut it down. I think the last group of monarchs should be moving through soon. And I don't think they lay any more eggs in late summer, early fall. I'll have to look it up before I cut those down though, just to make sure. Some more black-eyed Susans. And I also have, I just planted this a couple of weeks ago. This is actually another type of lobelia. You can see that the flowers have a similar shape, even though these flowers are bigger. This one is called the Cardinal Flower because it's red. But another really great native. I've seen butterflies on this one. It's also supposed to do a pretty good job of attracting hummingbirds. I haven't seen any hummingbirds on this yet, but it's a really pretty pop of color in the late summer. And the stems have this really cool green and maroon tint, and so do the leaves. So all around, it's a nice plant. I also have some autumn Joy Sedum. These are getting close. I have some in the front of my house that are already starting to turn pink. In the next couple of weeks, these will probably be in bloom. And if you don't have autumn Joy Sedum and you're interested in helping out pollinators, I highly recommend. I'll try to make a video again when these are in full bloom, because it's one of the last plants to bloom in the season, and the flowers hang on for so long. They are just covered in bees and butterflies, just trying to get the last bit of nectar that they can before winter. This is interesting. It looks like this is speedwell, but it looks like some bees are using this to... I can't get the camera to focus. Here we go. They're using it to just kind of rest, it looks like. There's another one over here. Oh, here's one. I think I read that bees, they like to be warm. When it's chilly out, they move too slow and it's kind of hard for them to fly, so sometimes they kind of sit in the sun to try to warm up. So that might be what's going on here. And the speedwell is pretty much done blooming. These are all seed heads that are forming. The pond's still going strong. The water lily is closed up right now, but that will open up when the sun, it gets more sun later today. The water lettuce really is trying to take over. I have to keep cutting it back so that the water lily has enough space in here. The horsetail rush looks really good. This is another type of cardinal flower. This one gets taller. And cardinal flower is actually almost a bog plant. It likes to be pretty moist, so that's why I was able to stick it in the pond. But I also planted these flowering tobacco, which started to lean, and now they're kind of resting on the pond. I do like the flowering tobacco because it provides some really nice height in the back of the garden. It smells, the flowers smell really good. And they actually attract moths, hummingbirds, butterflies. So they're another nice pollinator plant. So I think I'll let it seed itself. You can see it's already starting to form seed pods. This is full of seeds. So it will seed itself around. So I think I'm going to let this stay here, and I'm going to move my pond because I will take the plants out and drain it. And then I think I'll move the pond up to the front of the border so that I don't have this issue next year. This is a cup and saucer vine. This is my first time growing it. I've been checking it almost every day. So it has some flower pot buds on it. But no blooms yet. go check out the front flower garden. I'm gonna pause and walk over there. In this bed I have quite a few coneflowers. They're starting to dry up here. These are seeds. And I usually don't cut these back. I leave them up because the goldfinches love to eat coneflower seeds. So again, things are sort of wrapping up. This is also a good time when you're walking around your garden to notice where you have spots where you can add things. In this flower bed, I need to work on having some more fall flowering plants. There's some volunteer black-eyed Susans. The encampment is still blooming. This thing has been blooming the entire summer. I keep cutting it back. It keeps reblooming. And I divided these just last year. So these already, this is a plant split in half, these two right here, and they're already huge. So if you need a plant that's kind of low growing and takes up some space and can handle full sun, dry soil, this is a great option. It smells really good. The bees are always all over it. I also have some liatris up here. Looks like I don't know what's going on with my camera today. I cannot get it to focus on what I want. There's another bee just kind of hanging out. I do have some asters in this bed. So in a few weeks, it doesn't look like they have flower buds yet, but these look really pretty in the fall. I also have this goldenrod fireworks. And you can kind of see the way the branches spray up, how it got its name. I'll try to remember to show you guys this too when it's in full bloom, because another really nice fall native, good for pollinators. Daisies are still going back there. Have some volunteer cleome that popped up. See, this sedum's already starting to bloom. I think they get a little bit more sun in this spot. The Japanese beetles have destroyed my roses this year. I've already come out here and picked them off of this plant multiple times. It seems like every year they pick a plant they just want to demolish. So it's usually the beginning of the summer. I'm pretty vigilant about picking them off of plants, and then it gets to a point that I just have to let it go because I don't want to spend all my time picking Japanese beetles off of my plants. This rose bush is also super tough. And I know that I'm just going to prune it down and it'll be fine next year. So they win this round. I'll show you guys one more thing and then I think we'll be done. I think I've rambled on long enough. I do have a fun pollinator patch up by my front walkway. There are more native asters in here, so these are going to bloom in a few weeks and they're going to look amazing. I have zinnia in here, some of the native sunflowers. I planted some annual sunflowers, which are already kind of on their way out. Sunflowers are another great way to attract pollinators, and then when the seeds form, the goldfinches love eating these. And then I also have these jumbo sunflowers, which are probably 9-10 feet tall. These got huge. Look at the stalk on this thing. It's like a small tree. All of that in just a couple of months. And the bees are all over those. I just thought it would be fun to try something new. So I think that is where I will leave off for today. I might try to do another vegetable garden tour because things are really exploding in there. It's definitely tomato season. But I think I'll end the video here because we've already gone on long enough. If you have any questions about anything you've seen, or any other garden tidbits you'd like to chat about, feel free to put a comment below. I do try to read the comments and respond. Otherwise, I hope this video encourages you to get out into your own green space and take some time to be mindful and enjoy nature.